Welcome all. This is a little breakdown of the eclipse coming up this Sunday. This will be in the Bay Area. It'll be around 1:30 p.m. if I have that correct. And that's September 21st. This will be a partial solar eclipse. So this is not a total eclipse like we had on September 7th. Now, what is an eclipse? It's a great question. I don't know that I've even heard it really answered. Obviously, it's a lights out. It's a power outage. It's a Carrington event. The sun is covered up, and the sun is our life force. It's a link to 70% of the neutrinos that pass through us. It's the force by which we live, by which we're animated, by which we move and act and speak. And so when the sun is eclipsed, in a sense, the native said that the sun is unclothed, it's shamed. To watch the sun while it is eclipsed is shameful. And so the natives would always seek cover during eclipses. And so I explain this to modern day man who is so disconnected genetically and externally and internally from nature that very little people seem to understand. The rays of an eclipse are not even rays. They're blackened rays of light, if anything. Now, obviously, an eclipse doesn't reach everywhere, so it's not a visible power outage everywhere, but it is occurring. And just because we can't see it doesn't make it so. Ultimately, a full, total eclipse has to do with the cosmic law and order of this verse. And it has to do with the principles of third density matter. And there's a restructuring that takes place to the point where a total eclipse is an eclipsing of the form and capacity of both the earth body and our body. In a sense, it's a transition space. It's like going through a tube, some kind of sacred transformation where third density reality is transmuted, destroyed, and transmuted all in the needle's eye of a second. A kind of death, a kind of death in this life. And so what we have here is we have a being reborn almost. And this is what it is. This is what a total eclipse is. As many had mentioned, usually there's only surrender because we don't even truly have the autonomy of our own will because we're at we're just passengers in the seats of the body. And it is the body that fulfills its purpose in this realm, not our minds, not our personalities, but our physical body and its time-space mechanism, identifying with this realm. While the astral body and the more subtle bodies identify with the other realm because we're amphibious beings. We're amphibious in the sense that we always are partaking of two different worlds. We're in and out of these bodies. We're in these bodies, and then we're out, and then we're in, and then we're out. Autopilot seems to be some sort of energy that fills up our bodies while we're out to lunch somewhere on top of a mountain at sea. And so eclipses are really important. As I mentioned in my last couple of videos, they're symbolic in the sense of They represent leaders and the eclipsing power of leaders. And we just saw that in the movie that played on September 10th. Wow, what a film. I saw some other videos that showed how it works in like film industry, how they make it look like people are shot and blood comes out of their body. Wow. Like if this third density realm is not one big show, then it's it's not one big show, but it is. It's just so obvious. So this is the chart I pulled up. You can see that I decided to have a little fun and add the Trans-Neptunian planets, the hypothetical planets, which supposedly aren't planets at all. But these are supposedly the planets that the black nobility, the higher, those we don't know, but they that we really don't know, what they use to understand this realm. And so for fun, I thought I would add it in and see what it adds to it, and I'll go over it. But to lay it down cleanly just with the 9 planets, start off the interpretation, let's talk about the basic opposition that's been sitting in front of us most of the year since March equinox, which we're about to arrive on exact opposition with, which is the Aries ingress in opposition to the cardinal axis of September 22nd to September 23rd. And so we have the Aries ingress, 0 degrees Aries, and we have Neptune and Saturn playing around those areas. Neptune still at 0 degree Aries, and Saturn retrograding into Pisces at 28 towards the North Node in Pisces, which holds the veil that we cannot look and see and study and think through. It's not a Virgo time, that's South Node. It's time to accept the veil, and that the only way to understand what's beyond the veil is to feel it through, whatever it is, whatever we need to know at this time. And indeed, we have this last week and a half in between the eclipses, the shadowlands of Mordor, I like to call it. It's a shadow time. Nothing's really clear in between eclipses. I'm talking to friends and they're like, no wonder I can't get anything done. Yeah, of course, you're not getting anything done because there's nothing to be done. What's being done is just being done. If you feel things are happening, they're happening through you, just as the intelligence of the body moves through you. There's no will here. There's no power to the will here with these eclipses and the nodes in the polarity of Pisces and Virgo. We're in a time that there's a very hard, honest check-in, reality check. What's going on? What have we been doing? What's working? What's not? What are we now? What's going forward now? Saturn, as you could see, is right here, down here below, with Neptune opposing this solar new moon eclipse in Virgo, 29 degrees, sun and moon right there. And this last degrees of Virgo are about endings. And its opposite, this Aries ingress, is about new beginnings, a new vision with Neptune, and a solidification of the part of the vision that's clear and not delusional. So it's about what are we letting go of? What is it time to give up? What are we here to purge at this time? And so everything feels very heavy, feels very slow, and like we're dragged through all these different geographies because the vision of Neptune wants to become a reality. It's a fantasy that wants to become a reality right away, but Saturn won't let it. Saturn's checking in to see, is this practical? Is this reasonable? Will this work? And so with this opposition, we have the minor grand trine in effect. As you can see, Pluto's over here. And Pluto is in, and there's Uranus. So Pluto is in trine to Uranus and Gemini. You could see that line right there. And then you could see the midpoint is that Aries ingress of Saturn and Neptune. And then you could see that both Pluto and Uranus are making a trine to this, to whatever planet's going to show up pretty soon on the 23rd and 24th of this month on the cardinal axis. And Mercury, the moon will go there. The moon will go there first. Well, Mercury's already there at 6 degrees. And so the moon will go there right after it departs from Virgo. And we'll have a grand air trine. And this is very powerful. This is many layers to this particular solar eclipse on September 21st. And the day after, of course, of which is the fall equinox. So as I've mentioned many a time, this area here below the Aries Vortex, this is where things are emerging and where things are disappearing. And this goes for all of us. We all have an Aries Vortex playing out somewhere in our chart. And ultimately, as I've been saying, the theme is that life is beyond our control. What is happening is something that's moving through us. We can choose to identify it with our ego if we want to. We can choose to identify it with our calculated emotions through the moon cycles, which we have little power over as well. But really, it's just what's happening through us. There's no need for blame or shame or guilt or whatever it is, whatever story you want to make up or I want to make up. This is about practical matters. This eclipse is affecting our practical day-to-day life rituals, habits. And so some of us, there'll be new jobs, new work. Some of us were outdated. We're out, like it's over. Whatever we're doing is over. That's it. It's done. And so there's something new for us. So some of us are resisting that. But this eclipse won't allow us to resist any longer. And so we're having new restrictive boundaries and new realities set up for us. And that's what it is. Everyone else, every one of us has to face this vision of our Aries vortex. What is new? What are we creating anew? And know that it's a stop and start process. It's just not full steam ahead. It's not that. It's step by step. That's the truth of this, their density realm. That's what it is. That's the value of it. Step by step, gradual epiphanies and realizations. And so that requires patience. And so patience, what is patience? I think Kafka had a quote about patience, that too much patience is like is evidence of some sort of depressive state or something to that effect. But patience is really just the allowance of what is. We can't control the pace of things. We can't even control our own pace. We move at the pace of our breath. And sure, we can structure our breath accordingly, and that will structure our life. And so perhaps this Virgo eclipse, more than anything else, is about restructuring our connection with our higher self and our body. How do we have a connection with our higher self and our body? We meet the equilibrium and balance between being present in the body, breathing, being in the heart, being calm, collected, and present with no agenda, just beingness, just observation and action when it's correct. Because action comes from intelligence wherever that is located in the body. It's not about the mind. It can move through the mind, but it can move through the mind just as easily as it can move through the solar plexus or the sacral center or the splenic center or the ego center or the throat manifestation center where it wants to go in order to manifest into this. And I'll show that in the human design chart. I'm getting ahead of myself a little. But ultimately, this is the geometry that I'm presenting. And as you can see, I went ahead and added all these Trans-Neptunians. So let's have a look. Let's have a peek. So we got Cupido over here in Capricorn at 7 degrees, which rules collective art as well as fame. And it's all alone there in Cancer at, what is that? Maybe around 7 degrees. And that's not really doing much. Maybe it's squaring Mercury at 6 degrees. So that's interesting. So that around the eclipse, there's some social collective expression of art that could be occurring that is building forth. And then we see if we move up to the 11th house in Scorpio, we have the we have Apollon, not Apollo, but Apollyon, and that's about success and expansion. We have that at 6 Scorpio, and then we have Poseidon, which symbolizes spirit, ideas, truth, and wisdom. And so we have those there, not in any ready, available, perceivable aspect that I could tell at this moment. And then we have Mars at 29 Libra, just about to enter into Scorpio a couple of days after the eclipse. And immediately it will be squaring Pluto and Aquarius, causing a great tension, a great inner tension in the world, which could manifest on a geopolitical level and in our visible day-to-day lives. If we come over around here to Leo, we have Vulcan at 4 degrees, and Vulcan is about force, it's about power. And that's at 4 degrees opposing Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto, as it moves through Aquarius, will be opposing Vulcan. And so Pluto is about authenticizing, authenticating power, relationships. And Vulcan is force and power itself. So it'll be interesting to see that dynamic continue to play out. They're only 3 degrees apart at this time. Well, Vulcan's almost at 5. And so then if we look to Jupiter, we have Hades and Kronos, not too far away. Jupiter had already passed and conjuncted each one. Hades is about the lower worlds like sewers and poverties, and it's also about hesitation and delay. And then we have Kronos. Kronos is about executive power. And so the expansion of executive power with Kronos in Cancer is like a control mechanism. Everyone's one family. Let's bring everyone under one family dominant control system. Some kind of digital surveillance, as we all know, is what they're attempting to push through. And it's important for me at this juncture in this to express that this is a big choice that many of us are going to make. And some of us have already been making, whether we're going to allow biometrics and allow our energetic field to be recorded biometrically, our eyes scanned, our digital double created, our allowing ourselves into a control system which will control every aspect of our being, or taking the risk not to be a part of it and going through a period of time where there could be suffering, there could be challenges. But ultimately, the system will fall. It's not going to be able to last. There's no way. And so for those of us who are strong enough, we'll hold out. And many of us will not join this system. And we'll do our best to live our lives without it. Because there'll be consequences to fully joining this system. And we will slowly be seeing what they are. And so I forgot to mention we have Uranus approaching Admetos in Gemini. And Admetos has to do with foundation, form, and has to do with the core minerals deep in the earth. It's the foundation of beingness. So Uranus is shaking that up. Where's your reality? What's your reality? Are you in this third density reality? Are you stuck here? Or are you in the fifth? Are you moving to the fifth with the, are you staying in the third with the Fibonacci? Or are you moving to the fifth with the crystalline code? And what is it? The lotus of life. And then the other one's the daisy of death. It's so trippy when you look at the daisy of death and you could see the black cube right there in the center. It's fascinating. Gary on alternative interactions breaks that down super clear, and we've talked about it in some of our videos together. But this is what it is. I'm going to go on now to the human design chart so we could look at that. I don't think there's anything more here. Obviously, this is a new moon, our second new moon. We had a new moon in Virgo in late August, and this new moon in Virgo is about new practical beginnings of health, new daily habits, a new way, practical matters of life. Whatever's over is going to be, it's already over, but visibly it'll be ending. It'll be clear. Lots of endings at this time. And and happening right on the cardinal axis, right on the fall equinox. So one of the most powerful, most disturbing times of the year right now. As I've been saying, we're in between the shadowlands of the eclipses. And after Sunday, things will start to calm a little after fall equinox on the 22nd. We'll have a nice little calm period until about October 6th when things will kind of ramp up again. And then the last week of October will cool out. But I'll go over that in the next video I do, which will be on October. And so let me go ahead and pull up the human design. So this is the human design transit chart for the 21st. So you can see there are no activations that turn on any of the centers, but it doesn't matter because it will be completing the puzzle in your own body graph. And you can see the eclipse is activating gate 46. This is where the moon and sun will be. What is this about? This is about health. This is about being in one place, and that's your body. Being in the body, taking care of the body. Massage is really good to take care of the body when we're in the body and to keep us in the body. And so, just a suggestion. And the Aries Vortex is occurring here in the 25. And the 25 is about a powerful interplay with the mysteries of life right now. And key 25 is the baby sign of Aries. So on some level, war is allowed to rage. And this gate represents a restrictive boundary for a life of universal love. So there's a lot of tension here, as the 25 is the gateway to the other world. It's a gateway to death. And so where are we on this? Where are we on this gate 25? Do we have love for one another or do we have hatred? All the love gates are about love or hate. That's the choice. Whether it's the 15, the 46, the 25, or the 10, the choice is love or hate. That's the vessel of love or hate. And so that's our choice. And that's what we're playing out right now. And as we all know, it's just so passé, just such an old movie. I mean, it's just the same. It's just no difference, you know, it's just one side versus the other side, like the eagle with two heads symbolism, you know, the what is it, the right wing and the left wing of the bird that flies high in the sky. Whose sky? Not ours. We don't look up to that. We don't look up to that dichotomy, that duality, that polarity, which takes us nowhere. We're all beings. Isn't that enough? It's not about our minds and what our minds prefer. It's about being in the body and understand that, like, what's all that nonsense about you're this and I'm that? We're all human, we know this. So take care of yourself this weekend. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio, put your phone away, take a walk, maybe massage your own body or get a massage, comb your hair. Take care of yourself this weekend, especially Sunday. And this is what it is. You could see it over here, right angle cross, the vessel of love. It's number 3 because it's a fall equinox after the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And so that's where we're at. Let me see if there's any last things I want to say. Say be careful with Venus in 59, very active mating channel. And let's see anything else. No, I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for listening, all of you. Uh, take it easy. Don't expect anything to work right now. Just what all my plans this week, I decided to push to next week because I knew it'd be much easier. And so just getting some videos out this week, getting some errands done, and yeah, moving forth until next week. All right, so the best to you all during this dark time, and I'll see you on the other side.